Hey everybody, back again today with another recasting video here with Brian, Massey's Main Entertainment. Check the channel out. Doc, both movie guys. We're doing a recasting this time of Pulp Fiction, the 1994 classic directed and written by Quentin Tarantino. Incredible film, a crime thriller, in a way, crime movie. It's got all the dialogue that you want from a Tarantino film. It's told in the non-linear style, which he's known for. So this is going to be fun to do. We don't know each other's picks. We've got 11 characters to run through today. We're going to go through them one at a time. We've got 10 main characters. And then at the end, we're going to do a wild card where everybody picks somebody that's not in the main cast and put their spin on who they would recast. And the rules again are it has to be a person, an actor or actress that are live and not in the film itself. So that's pretty simple. So the order today is Doc, Brian, and myself. We're going to start out in the order that these characters appear in the film. So first, we're going to go with the first two are Hunnybunny and Pumpkin, who were the two sitting at the diner in the beginning of the film. And Hunnybunny is the female, Pumpkin is the male. So Doc, start us out with Hunnybunny, then we'll go around and then we'll get to Pumpkin on the next time around. Interesting character. She's got that. They're talking, of course, at the table, and all of a sudden she burst into this diatribe of violence or whatever. I'm gonna kill you, motherfucker. Yeah, the classic scene.
Awesome. It's awesome.
What do you got there for us, Doc?
Yeah, that's a great way to open a flick, man. I don't know what to say about that. That's Quentin being Quentin scripts, and I love his scripts, and Pulp's a classic. Yeah. When this first came out, I saw this on back-to-back nights on opening night the next night. So yeah. I love this movie. So Hunnybunny, what a great way to say it. Amanda Plummer was great as this character. So yeah, she does that 180 pretty quick sitting there with Tim there. So there's no getting around that. But
I should say, by the way, the original was played by Amanda Plummer. I neglected that. Hunnybunny played by Amanda Plummer in the film. Job. Tremendous performance for limited screen time.
Yeah, great. I mean, yeah, she did not have a lot of screen time, as you mentioned there, but when she's on it, man, she's pretty freaking. You're watching her, man. That's for sure.
That's right.
I went with Julia Gardner as my pick for Amanda Gardner.
Oh, okay.
I like your pick. I like it.
Yeah. I don't know if you know Julia or not, but she's done some newer stuff now. But I really took her straight from Ozark on this, man, and that's just
okay.
She fits the bill of what this character is based on that character alone, and she plays it so well. Yeah, she's you can see both sides of her, man. Yeah, she's like loving honey, blah blah blah, and turn around and step on your throat in 2 seconds later, man. And that's exactly what this Hunnybunny can do to you, man. That's what Hunnybunny is in this movie, right? And let's face it, they're robbers and killers, and that's what they're there for. And she could definitely pull this off, man. That's right in her sweet spot, I think, and I think a pretty good fit.
Excellent. I like it.
I like that. Yeah. I mean,
cool.
And
reflection, she can throw the language too. She can throw the
she can definitely pull it out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, she's got the chops. That's a good pick, Doc. I like it.
I like it.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
What do you got?
It wasn't my first one I wrote down, but it's one I came back to. So
yeah.
When I thought of Yolanda's character, first off, I would say this: that if you're a young director, you should never do what we're attempting to do for real. Tarantino is an entity unto himself, and he created basically a whole new genre of movies, in my opinion, and a whole new breed of directors. I think so. So, but Yolanda's that quirky, weird kind of beauty, that you're kind of looking for. And I was looking for that actress that was just that little bit odd looking that I thought I could spin it real quick, and I went with Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh yeah,
on here. I thought, her performances like in Donnie Darko and especially Crazy Heart. I really loved her in Crazy Heart. And she had some small parts like in The Dark Knight and stuff like that. But man, I feel like Maggie, she's one of those actresses that could actually pull this off. I could see her spinning on a dime. And I would love to see what the violent side of Maggie would be like on the screen. I think she can do it. So I went with Maggie.
Great actor.
Yeah, I like that pick too. That's a good one.
I like it. Very good. Mine, I went with somebody a little bit older, but still young looking because of her size, and an explosive actress who can do whatever she wants. And that's Jennifer Jason Leigh. I went with her here because I can see her talking sweet talk, like Doc said, and blowing the kisses, and hey, pumpkin, and then all of a sudden she's jumping like she was in the Hateful Eight. She was a vile character in the Hateful Eight, and she had the gun in the movie Rush with the drug addiction, where she played a cop, and I think she can do it. So I'm taking Jennifer Jason Leigh, really talented actress. She might be a little too old now for the role, but in her prime, she could pull this off no problem.
And I like it too, because I think this may happen a couple of times with all of us, is that Tarantino loves to use the same actors and actresses in his movies.
Yeah,
and because he's always looking for something a little off. And Jennifer, after Hateful Eight, that's just a prime example of a character that's a little off.
She dove into that performance, man.
She did. She was awesome. I loved it. That's a great pick, Rick. These are all good picks.
Yeah, I really like that pick, Rich, so much. I mean, that was one of my cross-offs, buddy. So
yeah, all three of them are winners. So I like all three of them, and they all bring something different, but at the same time, they can play the role.
Yeah.
So our second character is Pumpkin, who's the cohort of Hunnybunny there, and played by the great Tim Roth, who's been in so many of Tarantino's films, including Reservoir Dogs. And what else has he been in? A number of them, 5 or 6.
He was in Hateful Eight. He was in
Hateful Eight.
That's right.
Was he in
Reservoir Dogs?
Reservoir Dog. Was he in the one in the South?
Django. I didn't see him in Django.
Okay. I don't know if he was in that or not. And I know he was cut out of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He had a role and they cut him out, because at the end it gives the credits, and he apologized for cutting out his scenes. But he's the guy that he loves to use, Tim Roth. And this will be interesting to see how you guys go. Here, what do you have for the Pumpkin character, Doc?
Yeah, you're right. I love Tim Roth, man. A total underrated actor, I think, in the scheme of Hollywood. When you're looking at actors, this guy's top notch. I have Shia LaBeouf, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think this is this one I felt really good about, to be honest with you. If anybody could pull this off, like who's definitely could
Julie
snap.
Garner, it would make a nice pair. I can see that,
Yeah, totally.
Age-wise.
I think he's got the same kind of. This guy can act, man. I really don't care what anybody says. Shia LaBeouf can act, man. Outside of some things that he's done that may not be, his mainstream stuff is like that. Go to his outside stuff, his independent stuff. So this guy's a really good actor. He can definitely pull off this actor, and he can definitely pull off this character, especially with the 180 this guy pulls off too, and love you too, honey bunny, and then right back up, man. So here we go. So I could just see him pulling that off.
Yeah,
sweet spot. I think
collecting the wallets and stuff, and the
totally.
all that stuff.
You just see him having that conversation, with Samuel, or whatever we have with Samuel. Hey, what's the wallet say? It's a bad look, but that's the one. So
yeah,
that's what I went with.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, I can start to picture it now. Focus it in a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll dig that.
How about you, Brian? What do you have for us?
With Tim's character, I think Doc touched upon a lot of stuff. I mean, Tim was fire hot like during the early 90s. I mean, he was coming off Reservoir Dogs, and he did this movie, and he got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting in Rob Roy.
Yeah,
he was just on fire. And so I picked an actor that I thought he's up and coming right now too. He's going to be in the Sandman series that's going to be on Netflix starting in August. He's going to be playing the serial killer of the Corinthian, which is a big role from that story. So I'm looking forward to that. He also played Logan. He played in Logan. He played Donald Pierce, the bounty hunter, and he was in Gone Girl. I picked Boyd Holbrook. I think he's an up and coming guy. He's got a lot of good acting chops. He's about the right age that Tim was in the movie, and I think putting him and Maggie across from each other at that diner, I think the chemistry would work between the two.
Good pick. He's got the look for it, man.
He does, doesn't he? He's got that look.
I have to research him. I don't really know the name.
Yeah, he's got the look, man, for sure.
He does. Yeah.
The pairing is very important. I went with somebody who I thought would pair well with Jennifer Jason Leigh on the other side of the table there, and I went with a veteran actor. Jude Law would be my guy. He's British, He can play a mean bastard as he did in The Road to Perdition. Remember the photographer he
Yep.
played in there?
Yes.
Yes.
Evil character. And yet he can play the pretty boy and the kind of nice guy in certain roles too. Even in a movie called Closer, he plays a guy that gets walked on by women and stuff like that. And so he's got a soft side, and yet he's got a violent side as well. So I went with Jude, and I compare them up together. Jennifer, Jason Lee, and Jude Law. I think they would work well together.
The pairings are so important, and that scene sets the tone for the movie.
Yeah.
So that pairing really matters. That's a really good pairing.
Yeah, it is. I really like
It
Jude
is.
Law too. So another guy that can really act, I think, and kind of gets overlooked sometimes too. I think,
Yeah.
he's a pretty good actor, man.
Because they would feed into each other. Jennifer is the type of actress, she feeds into your energy.
Yep.
And and look at her in Cape Fear. I mean, she fed right into the energy that De Niro brought to that remake. So it's important. Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, it is good.
All right, now we're on to really the two main characters. We're going to start first with Jules, played by Samuel L. Jackson, as the hitman, philosopher type of guy who, always gives you that. He has that spiel in the Bible that that way. I can't even pronounce it, but
Ezekiel 25:17.
there you go.
Ezekiel.
And just about as he's ready to whack you, he's going to lay that on you. And
Just something I say.
when he's talking about the Royale with cheese and all that kind of stuff, him and the Travolta character. So he's got some nice lines in there. He's got the wallet that's from right out of hell. Great stuff. So Jules, played by Sam Jackson. What do you got, Doc, as your Jules?
Yeah, I mean, we're recasting Pulp here. I mean, Samuel's the dude, okay? So this is just, recasting him in the thing we're goofing around with here, but somebody who can, I went back and forth, man, because somebody put something in my head a while ago and it stuck with me. So I'm going to go with it. And this Jamie Foxx, man, that's what I went with.
Yeah, absolutely. He could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good one.
I need somebody who's, who can be evil and who obviously has that side to him. But, there's look at Jules's character, man. You can have a normal conversation and talk about whatever, and you can blow your head off within a minute or two of each other.
Right.
So that's all these characters have like that 180 aspect to them, and what the trigger point is and stuff like that.
Right.
Jamie Foxx is a guy, I think, I had somebody else down for a long time, and I said I got something put in my head a while ago, and it's just stuck with me. And Jamie's been the guy I'm going to go with.
It's a good pick.
I
Excellent
like
pick.
it too.
Thanks.
Ryan?
Right.
All
What are
right.
you thinking, brother?
Well, I'll say this first off. It's too bad that Chadwick Boseman died.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he would have been absolutely beautiful for this role. But we have to stick with the rules. I did have Lakeith Stanfield down for a while. But in the end, I did make a change here last couple of days. I picked Jamie Foxx to do this role.
Oh,
I think that-
Right on, brother.
I think that,
So?
he has the chops. He was in Django. He was in
Yeah.
Collateral. He played
Exactly.
Ray. I just, Jamie Foxx, when he puts on his serious face, I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
I think he can bring that kind of energy. I think he really can for this role. So I did pick Jamie Foxx as well. So that's why I think it's a great pick, Doc.
I think yours is a great pick too, brother.
I think it's a great pick, and I didn't pick Jamie Foxx. I went with another one of these veteran guys who I think is a really talented guy. He can play anything he wants, and that's Don Cheadle. I love Don Cheadle.
So do I.
I can see him,
Like him.
grabbing that burger, a tasty burger, and then whacking that guy on the couch, and then, what's with these pieces of brain in my car? All the dialogue that he's coming up with that makes it so cool. But I went with Don Cheadle. I think he's a first-rate actor. I can see him putting on that fro that Sam Jackson had on. And,
Yeah, he was fantastic in Hotel Rwanda.
Oh,
God.
He was
top
just
notch, man.
fantastic in that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Top
that's
notch.
a good pick. I like that.
So
I love that pick because I could definitely see him doing it, man. If you want
Yeah.
the truth in my head, you're
wearing
talking
the
about
suit,
it.
the little thin tie
For
coming
sure.
in there,
It's more than just a picture. I can see it in my head, definitely pulling it off, man. He's a good actor too. So that's a good pick.
That sideways look while he's slurping on that drink, That's the look right there.
Yep.
Sorry, did I disrupt you?
Classic.
Totally.
Of course, his partner in the film is Vincent, played by the great John Travolta, in a role that brought him back from obscurity at that point in 1994. He was making those Look Who's Talking films and all this garbage. Quentin Tarantino always wrote the role for him, I think, basically. He wrote the role for Vince, for Travolta, rather. And of course, he's carrying around that, or he discovers that suitcase or that briefcase with the mystery thing inside. And his character dates and has to escort Mia Wallace. At one point, they had that great dancing scene. Jackrabbit Slims, which is a key scene in the movie. And it seems like every time he goes in the bathroom, some crazy wild shit happens.
Yeah, exactly.
In the apartment, which I won't give away, and also at the end when the wallets are being passed around, and there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. So, and also at Mia's apartment when he goes in.
That's right.
So there's 3 different bathroom scenes where Travolta's in. I think Quentin does that on purpose. So.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Oh yeah.
Coincidence. But anyway, getting back to the character, who would we recast in the John Travolta role, Doc?
Yeah, this one's pretty tough. I really had it down to 2 guys since we started bantering this around, and I just really crossed one guy off and went with the other. I went with Carl Urban. That's my guy for Vincent.
Okay, yeah, got it. Dr. McCoy.
What's that?
Dr. McCoy.
McCoy from the Star Trek movies. He's on the series The Boys.
Yes.
He was the killer in the Bourne Supremacy that went after Matt Damon's there, Bourne.
Yep.
So he's got that side to him, right? So he was in the reboot of Judge Dredd, right? He was in Dredd. He played Dredd.
Right.
Kind of another guy that's really a solid actor that can actually pretty versatile too, I think. And I just find the mannerisms of him actually almost match Vincent's character, I think. And you can pull that from different characters, right? You've seen him in his acting career. You can definitely pull stuff from Carl Urban to drop him into a Vincent character and pull it off pretty good, I think. So I had him and Michael Fassbender down as my 2, so I went with Carl.
Yeah, he's great in The Boys. Play Bill the Butcher. I mean, he's fantastic. Yeah, great job. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Cool. Thought they matched pretty good with Jamie too, actually. So.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. That's key also. All right, Brian.
I didn't think I was going to go this route, but what happened was I printed off a picture of him at work, and I drew in some greasy long hair coming out, all straggly down and stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go with Maggie's brother, Jake Gyllenhaal, to play Vincent Vega. Yep. I just thought, he's done work in Nocturnal Animals, and The Nightcrawler did it for me. I said, his work in The Nightcrawler, he could do this role. I know he's got it. Yeah, he's been in some, floaty action movies, and he's even been in a Spider-Man movie, but he's got the acting chops. When he wants to do serious roles, he can definitely take them on. So I went with brother Jake. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah, I think it's a good pick.
That's exactly who I went with too. Jake Gyllenhaal. That was my first pick.
So there you go.
Absolutely. I can see him with the long hair, the straggly hair. I can see him on the dance floor as well. He's young and athletic enough to make some of those moves with the Mia Wallace character. And I think that Don Cheadle and Jake Gyllenhaal would be a nice partner on my end. So
I think that'd be a great pairing. Yeah.
Yeah, sure it would. So obviously Jake's a great call. And I can definitely see him playing it, obviously, right? I like that move. That's cool.
I want to hear him say, "God damn, I shot Marvin in the face."
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear.
Just as he's leaning over with the gun.
How about at the end when he's asking the Tarantino character to make the coffee or whatever for him, pretty please with sugar on top and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you. How about a thank you?
When they wear those stupid pajamas, those asinine.
You look like a bunch of dorks.
Great stuff. All right, so that's 4 characters in the books. Number 5 is Mia Wallace, played by Uma Thurman here, who is the girlfriend of, or wife, I guess, of the boss himself, the mob boss. So this is interesting casting. She's a lot, it seems a lot younger than Marcelles, who is her husband. Maybe the 15-year difference between the two, something like that, maybe even more. And she needs to be. She's got a little bit of a, I don't know, a spoiledness to her, getting things she wants, and she needs to be escorted for the night and shown a good time while Marcelles is out of town. Of course, that's Travolta that does the honors there. And they go to Jack Rabbit Slim's, and she's doing some nose candy and rolling her own stuff. And, she knows her way around drugs, obviously, and played by Uma Thurman. So this may have been one of my harder ones to cast. I don't know how you guys feel, but let's take a shot. What do you think, Doc?
Yeah, I'm taking a shot is what I'm doing. So I wrote my final list here. I have my previous list I'm looking at over there, and I have a previous list on the page before. And under that character, for Mia, the names never changed every time I moved my list. So, and I'm giving somebody a shot at this that's only got, a couple of acting chops under their belt, to be honest with you. But who can I see playing this role? It's Lady Gaga.
Ooh, okay.
She can do it. I'm not saying she can't.
Yeah, I mean, when you go back to what was the movie that she did there with friggin'
A Star is Born?
Star is Born.
Star is Born. There's a lot of similarities in those qualities in that character to Mia that I think can be just transferred. She's very uninhibited anyway, and there's a lot of that uninhibited aspect to Mia's character that is just part of Lady Gaga. I just think that would just come shining through that, very open, very free, and very not a care at some points for Mia's character is a lot of times too, right? She just goes over the board and, she ODs and
right.
doesn't care. There's a whole bunch of things that she doesn't care that her husband's not in town. She's just, whatever's next is next. And there's a lot of that lackadaisical part to it, but a pretty rough life too. So I could see Gaga playing this, man. She was up for the Oscar for a reason, man. Pretty good first go or second go into acting, man. And I'd give her a kick at this one, man. I think she pulled it off pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick. It's one of those things where somehow or another, a director like Tarantino can make it work, and
totally.
he would jump on the aesthetic.
He would be on that one right now, I bet.
Yeah, but he'd love the aesthetic of it, that he did something that no one would be willing to do.
Yeah.
So I took a shot with that one, guys. I'm not gonna say I didn't, but
yeah,
I can see pulling it.
Uma was like one of my last picks. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it was real difficult.
Yeah, it's really tough.
What do you have, Brian, for us?
I kind of went with the whole aesthetic thing. I kind of went with something that I thought would be really cool and interesting to do if you had to do it. She played Flower Girl in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and she's in the series Stranger Things. It's the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. I picked Maya Hawke to do it.
There you go.
I thought that would be a very interesting way to go. Might as well pick the daughter to play her if you were going to do a remake of Pulp Fiction.
She looks like her, tall.
Looks like her.
Totally.
Tall, beautiful, very, very charismatic. I mean, and the stuff that she has done, I like it. I like the look.
That's a good pick too, man.
Mine is an actress that I've only seen in a few films, and sometimes she brings a sense of entitlement to it. I went with Blake Lively as my character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see her doing this. She's got a trailer trash side to her as well, but at the same time, she thinks she's worthy of being escorted around, and she wants the finer things in life, and she's willing to do what it takes, what's necessary to attain that. And I think Blake Lively has a lot of those characteristics. My original pick was Jennifer Lawrence, but I got off that bandwagon and I went with Blake.
When I thought about the role, it was a shame that Brittany Murphy wasn't still alive.
Yeah.
I kind of liked her. I thought she definitely had the chops.
She was a good actress.
She's a fantastic actress, and but she's not alive. I mean, and I ran into that a lot when I was doing these lists. It's a funny thing about it.
Yeah.
All
right, cool. So we have
good picks all around.
Blake Lively, Lady Gaga,
but different, but good.
Mia Hawke with the blood lines running through. Very cool. Very cool. Number 6 category or character here is Marcelles, of course, the husband, boss, head honcho of the little syndicate going on here. A badass. You don't want to mess around with this guy because he can hurt you. He's already thrown a dude off the balcony and messed him up, and in the context of the film, allegedly for giving his wife a foot massage or something to that order.
Foot massage, a foot massage.
Marcelles, of course, played by the great Ving Rhames, great character actor. So this will be interesting to see what we have here. Doc, hit me.
You're right. It's the Ving is a tough one too, right? So
yeah,
but there's how would you even describe that character? You know, it's almost like methodical the way he talks. You know, it's just like, you know, very to the point. You know,
Yeah.
The deal is you're out of town. Get out of town now.
Right.
These are
Go
done.
ask goes down in the fifth round. You know,
That's yeah, exactly. It's very, you know, there's a strong side to him, obviously, but
right.
You know, at the end of the day, when you're talking to Wallace here, man, that's the end of the conversation. That's there is no more. What he says is, yeah, that's it. Right. I went with somebody who kind of has like those powerful kind of things too. So I hope I did. So I went with Winston Duke, actually.
Winston Duke.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was in Us, and he was in Black Panther.
Yeah, he's one of the side guys in the Black Panther from Wakanda, but Us is really the standout for me on that kind of character, I guess. That, you know, he's obviously he's a big, intimidating guy. That can, you know, you can see that guy be the guy that threw the guy off the thing, let alone anything else. But
he could do it.
Yeah, he could do it
physically.
He could. And I think he's got the chops. You know, I liked him in everything I've seen him in. So it's it's not like an overbearing role in one sense too, because it's a scene cut for Ving when he shows up too, right? So he's in the scene and the car accident, and then he's in the before you get downstairs to the basement and everything else. Those are powerful scenes in the movie, man. And it's who could pull it off and actually have the transition at the end to how it's going to end up for the cop or the security guard, you know, or whatever that's going to come in.
Right.
How that goes. I just thought it was a really good fit, and I think he could definitely do it, man.
Yeah.
Very good.
He was on my list, Doc.
Is it?
He was on my list. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, buddy.
Yeah.
Nice. Who made your final cut, Brian?
For me, I wanted to go with someone like Doc said, you know, this kind of a methodical, you know, calm, but but definitely striking fear into people. And I always thought about the conversation with Butch, the cadence and everything else, somebody who could kind of carry that kind of weight, you know, in that subdued manner. He was in Get Shorty, Malcolm X, and the Cider House Rules. I went with Delroy Lindo.
That's a good one.
I thought he could do it. I mean, he has a lot of acting, chops behind him, and he's got that nice, intimidating eyes. I think my wife calls them big eyes or round eyes, healthy eyes, or whatever. And I think he would be good for the role. I like Delroy.
Yeah, that's a good pick too.
He's a great actor. I love that pick too. I'm going to throw out two names that I thought of originally, but I think they're both a little too old for the role. One was Lawrence Fishburne, and the other was Forrest Whitaker. But I ended up going with a guy who I think was in a gang himself, and he would scare some people. That's Ice Cube.
Yeah.
I went with Ice Cube. He's a pretty good actor if you've seen some of his movies. I know he's a rapper and, you know, Boys in the Hood and this kind of thing, but he's been in some independent films. I think he does a real good job. He's very believable on screen. And I think I would buy into him in this role. What he says goes, that's it. There's no nonsense, no fooling around, no, you know, negotiating.
Right.
It is what it is. And it would instill some fear in some people. So
yeah.
That's a good pick, actually, buddy.
Yeah, it's a great pick. Isn't it kind of another instance where you're going, man, if Michael Clark Duncan was alive?
Oh God. Just size alone. Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I said, it's just, but man, these are all good picks though.
I liked Forrest Whitaker for the longest time because he's a quiet, imposing man, but I think he's a little too old to have somebody as young as Blake Lively in my pairings here.
He did great in The Last King of Scotland.
Oh, he's a
fantastic man. He's a good actor, man.
Yeah.
So, really good actor.
Yeah. All these
I had him down too, Rich, just so you know, but I took him off because of age.
Yeah, same thing.
Just I didn't try to keep in the ballpark, but yeah.
Now we come to Butch, played by the great Bruce Willis, and boxer. Of course, he's supposed to throw the fight so the mob can rake in some money. There, but he has a little double switch and little plan of his own where he's going to maybe throw the fight, whatever, in the other direction or win the fight, as it were. He ends up doing some major damage in the ring. And, you know, Bruce Willis, it's one of Bruce Willis's best performances in my mind. I don't think I've ever seen him better. I like him in this role where he's not playing the so-called action hero. He's sort of got some character development to him, and I think he's fantastic. So I'm anxious to see what you guys have here for the Bruce Willis character, Doc.
What do you got, Doc?
That's a good one. I mean, that's as soon as you said it there, Rich, it started to make me think, man. Yeah, maybe that is Bruce Willis's best role. I'm thinking in my head, going, yeah,
Maybe.
it might be that.
It may be as far as
yeah.
acting.
Just
yeah.
flat out acting, inhabiting a character, making you believe, you know.
I never really thought about it until you actually just said it in my head.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, probably true, man. You know, I get about it, but
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great character, actually, man. You're right. You know, he's snaking the snakes, man, as this one goes. So Zed's dead, man. So it's
Yeah.
pretty tough one to do. But what a great character, right? You know, he goes a lot of different ways. Butch does. The boxer, he's got some morals too. I'll give him credit. So
Yeah.
I went with David Harbour.
Oh, okay. Stranger
David
Things
Harbour.
guy. Yeah.
Stranger Things.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, he was in Hellboy. He was like, you know,
Yeah.
goes back to like the Equalizer and different things like that. Just,
Yeah.
could I see this guy pulling this part? Definitely. You know, he can definitely play the boxing part of things. He can definitely be the killer kind of guy. He can definitely be the revenge kind of guy. He can definitely, all those qualities that Butch has is, he's got some morals at the end of it, man. Let's get right down to it. And, yeah, these aren't the best people on the planet we're talking about in Pulp Fiction either, right? So, but in that group, David Harbour, I think, is a great fit to play a role of Butch or something like that. He would be great these days, I think, to drop in now to give that a kick. I think he'd fit it pretty good.
Yeah, I could see it after seeing him in this recent season of Stranger Things, where he's in the prison and it's
or something like that. Yeah,
I mean, he's a big, imposing man. He is
totally
a tough dude. Yeah, I can see it. I can see David Harbour do it.
Cool.
Who do you got,
Nice.
Brian?
Well, I decided to go with the guy that most comedians joke actually put Bruce Willis out of the A-list acting for action movies. I went with Jason Statham. The Transporter, Lock, Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, and Snatch. I just want to cast him so that he says these words just like this. In the sixth, my ass goes down. I mean, I just want to hear that. That's all I want to hear. And that would be awesome just to get an opportunity to hear Jason do that. So I went with Jason Statham. He's a known action, commodity. He's a very tough guy. If you read the bio on this guy, he's like a black belt in like several martial arts.
He's a pretty serious dude.
Fully capable. He's a fully capable, physically imposing guy. He can do it. So
good pick.
Yeah,
thanks.
I like it. Originally, believe it or not, I had Jake Gyllenhaal in this role, and I moved him to the other character that what do I have? Vincent? No,
yeah. You had him as Vincent.
I had him as Vincent. But originally, I had him playing Butch because I've seen him in a boxing movie called Southpaw. He played a boxer.
Yeah.
You buy him, but I switched it off, and I went with Tom Hardy. I think Tom Hardy's a badass.
He is.
And he's a good actor. I think he could play the character well. Maybe not as well as Bruce Willis, but I think he could do it. Definitely in the ring, for sure.
Yeah.
He's a bad enough guy to pull the double switch on the Marcelles character as well. And yet have that quiet time with the girlfriend back at the hotel. And definitely get the revenge at the end in that pawn shop. So there's a lot of different things going on here with that character that Tom Hardy could do. So that's my Butch.
All tough dudes, man. That's what you got to be this role.
You have to bring that edge.
Yeah.
No Queen Puffs here. You got to be a tough guy.
Tom Hardy is a great pick, man. Tom Hardy is another really good actor, man. So,
and everything you see him in, you're more and more impressed.
Oh yeah, Revenant was just
Revenant, the one where he played the Mad Max guy, and
oh yeah, he's in Fury.
Yeah, Fury Road.
Fury Road.
Yeah.
There's even a movie, I forget the name of the film, where he's driving around in a car and he's negotiating on the phone. It takes place, I believe, in Europe or something. It's quiet, but he can show that side of him too. Right, our main character is Captain Koons.
This is awesome.
The infamous Christopher Walken owned this role. Nobody can deliver that Tarantino dialogue with the watch and the dysentery and
that's awesome.
The uncomfortable hunk of metal, as he calls it. I don't want to get too graphic for you folks that haven't seen it, but he has one scene in the film and knocks it out of the ballpark.
It knocks it out of the ballpark, man. It steals the whole thing.
Yep. It might be a 4 or 5 minute scene, and it's just, what the hell did I just watch? But when you put the movie together at the end, the context works because the watch comes into play and this and that. So anyway, Captain Koons, Chris Walken, what do you got for us, Doc?
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better, Rich, man, with the freaking character, man. It's a 5 minute scene steal, man, for freaking.
Yeah.
That's it. What a scene. Who else could pull it off? I don't know. This is a roll the dice with this one and see how it goes, man. So I went with Jeff Goldblum, man.
Oh, yes.
Jeff Goldblum. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like it.
You want to talk about somebody who's got that dry demeanor and everything else thinking about him that can actually, I could see him saying these lines in my head. It's the very first thing the first guy I wrote down. I had a couple guys come with me on all 3 lists. He's one of them. Jeff Goldblum. I had him down from the get-go. I just see him playing that. I can see him delivering exactly almost the way Walken did in one sense. No one's going to deliver like Walken or something like that, but I can see Goldblum doing pretty darn close, man, and definitely something he can pull off. And I can just see him talking to it. Like I can just hear him the way he talks, just sounding like almost very similar in one sense too. So that's why I went with.
A child, a 10-year-old kid or whatever,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, kids on the
floor.
Such
graphic terms. Like, oh my goodness.
Nice.
All right, Brian, what do you got?
Okay, so Doc, something's weird here because we're on the same wavelength. I put down 2 names when I did this because I said speech pattern matters completely here. I needed somebody with the most obscure speech pattern like Walken has. So I had Nicolas Cage down as one name. And then I put down Jeff Goldblum and kept Jeff Goldblum.
Wow.
I just think that his speech pattern is so out there.
Totally.
And so his acting is so odd and over the top. I would love to see him do this dialogue. I would just love to see him do it and describe, where having a watch shoved up your ass
that he went through.
5 years. I mean, I want to hear that coming out of Jeff Goldblum's mouth. I picked Jeff. I thought he'd be perfect for this role.
Fantastic, brother.
Well, you guys might have beat me on this one. I don't have Jeff Goldblum. I went with more of a straight, conventional, serious actor. None of the obscure or quirky stuff that goes on here. I went with Ed Harris. I can see Ed Harris. I can see him in the uniform giving a deadpan speech to this kid. And he looks like a guy that would have served in the war and maybe wore the uncomfortable hunk of metal. But that's where I went. I was vacillating between Ed Harris and a quirky actor, a big actor, actually, Matthew McConaughey, because I could see him giving the lines too. I can see him talking with his own little stick in the uniform, telling this kid, look, man, your father gave up this, and this is important shit, just laying it down there. But I went with Ed Harris. I'm going to stick with it. I think
it's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
Really good pick. Sure it is.
It's just the direction you chose to go. You went a little straighter than we did,
straighter.
Obviously, because when you go with Jeff Goldblum, you're off the path, man. You're gone.
Oh yeah.
I can see both sides of it. Either way you want to go. But it's
just as a quick side note, if it wasn't anybody like that, I mean, somebody I had in my head, I never wrote them down or anything else like that, but somebody who does pop into my head for something that I could see playing like this would be a younger Robert Duvall. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's another guy.
Yeah.
Pretty straightforward, and he's going to tell it like it is. And
Yeah, but I could just see him, like you said, the uniform, the whole 9 yards, delivering the whole speeches. I could see him talking to a kid.
Like he wasn't the great Santini with that uniform.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
Now we're to one of the great characters in the film.
Absolutely.
Number
One of my
9,
favorite characters. One of my favorite characters.
Lance, the drug dealer. You can see, just to say, it's played by Eric Stoltz, by the way. Another, probably his best performance of all time, too.
Yeah, maybe after The Mask, this is his
Mask.
Yeah, The Mask is tough. Yeah, you're right. The Mask is tough. But it's tough to beat, I should say. But I love him in here with wearing the bathrobe and eating the cereal and watching the cartoons. All this slacker shit going on at 3 a.m. And, he's got the long hair and he never has to get dressed. Probably never makes his bed. Just a guy that's selling heroin out of his Russian drawers and just incredible stuff. So Lance, played by Eric Stoltz. What do you have, Doc? This will be fun.
Yeah, I mean, Eric Stoltz's character is fantastic, man. Lance is a great one. So this was tough. I'm not gonna say that. I can't sugarcoat this one for me because this one was tough. And I'm trying to think about his character like we all do. I'm sure we're sitting there. What are you gonna draw from it or pull from the character that you want to talk about? And man, it just seems so like neurotic or something like that in the sense that the actual character does. And once again, 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I don't know. It came down to something that I thought, who could play this, and I went with a kind of a different or polarizing kind of guy or whatever. But I went with Jesse Eisenberg.
Like it. Yeah.
So
Jesse,
could I see him pulling this off and I could just see him running out the street there in his front robe there. Just what the hell are you doing?
Totally
stuff like this, and before you know it. And then I started thinking about physically how the character looks and how the character acts and stuff like this. And then a little bit of Superman, a little bit of other things. And then, Now You See Me and stuff. And then before you know it, you're pulling from, Social Network and all these kind of other sides. He's not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. And he's a polarizing kind of actor in one sense. Some people love him, some people hate him, but the guy's not a bad actor, man. And
I like him.
This is a pretty good pick, I think, for him. I think he could drop into this role. Maybe more along his lines of what kind of role he should be playing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tarantino seems to get something more out of anybody that he casts in his films. I mean, he has a lot of unconventional castings. I mean, who would have thought Don Johnson would have been in a fucking Quentin Tarantino movie, right? He got it out of him, right? I mean, and it was a fantastic performance. So
great role.
Did a good job. So
yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Brian?
I went with someone that I thought would bring that high energy to it, especially after Mia was brought to his house, and everybody's freaking out, and he says, "No, you don't got to stab him 3 fucking times," and and it's like it's all for wigging out. So I went with Simon Pegg, the guy from Shaun of the Dead series, and World's End and Hot Fuzz and the Star Trek reboots. I thought he's got that funny energy about him that I could see him playing those scenes. In such a helter-skelter way, like he normally does in his films. So I went kind of in that route. Mine's a little odd too, but I love the character. So
Hot Fuzz is classic too, buddy. So that's okay. But yeah, it's a good pick.
I went with a guy. I like him in everything I see him in. He's a little manic, kind of a slacker. I can see him in the robe. I can see him eating the cereal in the middle of the night. I went with Ethan Hawke as my guy.
Yeah, sure.
I like it. Yeah.
Ethan Hawke could play this role. Just talking, the drug talk would come natural to him as well as it did for Eric Stoltz. They're around the same age now. I think Ethan could do it. The other guys, the first guy I cast here, I switched off. It was Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
I can see him as a slacker doing absolutely nothing but selling drugs, which he did in Breaking Bad. But I got off of that. I went with a veteran kind of actor, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with Ethan Hawke, man.
Yeah, you can't. He was great he just recently in the Moon Knight series. He did a really good job in that. So
yeah.
He's a good actor, man, too.
Yeah.
I loved him in Boyhood when he played the father, and he played in Training Day.
Training Day, man. It's got a classic role.
Yeah, I liked him in Gattaca. and
Yeah,
Training
even that
Day.
series with Julie Delpy, the 3 movies before midnight or whatever.
Yeah,
they call it.
yeah.
He's good in
Before
those.
sunrise.
Yeah. All right, so our 10th character is the great Winston Wolf, played by Harvey Keitel, who's the cleaner, the fixer, the guy that gets called in when everything goes berserk and he's got like 37 and a half minutes to get things in order before the wife gets home, or there'll be hell to pay. And, you know, you got brain matter and all over the car, and it's his idea to figure out how to clean this up in due time. And just an incredible character. He comes in with the suit and tie. He's at some cocktail party when they call him up. All of a sudden he's there. He's in a tux or something, and it's his job to clean it up or get rid of all the mess. What do you got here for us, Doc? At Winston Wolf.
Well, it takes 30 minutes to get there, but I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, this is good coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's just a snippet of a character you actually get to see in this movie, right? And it's, you know, towards the end and stuff like this, but no, Harvey Keitel, man, I like that guy anyway. So
Yeah.
just trying to think of somebody who could be like that and be almost sarcastic and demanding at the same time, I guess, is what I'm probably looking for. So
yeah.
I just see something about it. One guy wrote down for everything. It's Jeff Bridges I went with, man. That's what to play this. So
Yeah, the dude.
The dude can play this, man.
That's awesome.
He'd be drinking a white Russian instead of coffee, though.
yeah, for sure, you know, but he might not dress as nice as the actual Wolf in the movie,
Right.
you know, but I think all the mannerisms and everything else, you get the suit on Jeff, I think he can, everything else about the character is him, I think. So that's one name I had with me the whole time as well. Jeff Bridges, man.
Yeah. Oh, right.
My favorite actor is Jeff Bridges, for sure.
Yeah,
yeah, fantastic.
I mean, he would be in my top 10 for acting.
Oh, really?
I love Jeff Bridges.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I had a chance to put him in there for you, brother.
Yeah. Very good. How about you, Brian? Who do you have?
So I thought I kind of went through screen tests, right? So I'm like, okay, so who could read this line the best? Pretty please, with sugar on top. That's what I wanted. That's all I really want to hear, and that'll sell it for me. So I went with Jeremy Renner to say that line.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner.
Yeah, you know, from Wind River, American Hustle. I mean, I think he's got that nice mannerism about him and that powerful presence that I thought he could pull this off. So
sure he could.
Yeah.
I went completely off the rails on this pick. I wanted somebody who you'll be surprised when he shows up on screen as this character that would command the respect of Travolta and Jackson and take orders from them. And yet he doesn't look the part, but I think he could pull it off based on what he brings to the screen. Don't laugh too loud. Peter Dinklage.
Oh my God. That would be hilarious, man. That would be awesome. Because I can see them opening the door and then having to look down.
I can see Peter Dinklage on the other end of the phone and say, with the tux, and all of a sudden he comes from this cocktail party or overnight, wherever he was.
Nice.
And these guys are looking at like, what just walked in the door? And I'm going to take orders from that. Yes, you are. If you want this shit done in 37 minutes, you're going to do it right now. And
I think he's a great actor, man.
For sure. I can definitely hear him saying it.
I love him in everything I see. And for his size and all, he commands the screen.
He does. He's the best character in Game of Thrones.
I like that pick.
I mean, it's great.
So I went with that. I just want to throw some runners up at you. I had Mark Ruffalo in consideration and Jason Bateman, because Jason Bateman seems to squirm out of the tightest spots and be able to, doesn't get rattled, all that kind of stuff like he does in Ozark. But I went with Peter Dinklage. That's my pick.
I like it. Nice.
It's my favorite pick tonight.
Oh wow,
that's fucking hilarious and great all at the same goddamn
all at the same time.
Awesome. I'm glad
Very cool.
I didn't think you guys were going to go for that one, to be honest with you, but I had to do it. All right, our final
pick. Totally see him playing it, eh?
Yeah. Our final pick is a wild card, so hopefully we'll have 3 different characters here. We were able to pick one character from the cast that wasn't in the original, the 10 biggest roles in the film. So, Doc, I'll be surprised to hear who you have. Who'd you pick as your character? And who played the original, if you know, if not.
Well, Frank Wally played the original, so I went with Brett.
Brett. Okay.
Yeah. I could not pick him, to be honest with you. Yeah. All right, I got your name, but I didn't get yours, And just there's I mean, he's in one scene, right? This is where you get him. So, he's a wild card because there's a lot of wild card characters you could probably pull out of it because we just went through the main cast, and anything else is going to be a fringe, or you might get something at Lance's house, you might get something in some other different scenes, but this is a pretty big scene in the movie too, actually. So I went with Brett, the leader of the kid gang there that actually stole the suitcase from Wallace. And Frank Wally is a really good actor, man. So he's pretty funny too. He can play some different characters in his career. So, but there was something dry about that character, right? There's something, there was that part, I got your name, I didn't catch your name and stuff like that. Right. There's something like, I'm trying to be a tough guy, push back to you, but meanwhile, I know I'm not in your neighborhood of, you guys are a couple of killers and I shouldn't be something bloody word, let alone anything else. So who did I pick to play that part? I kept it close to home, is what I'll say. So I went with Jay Baruchel. You probably know him from Tropic Thunder or This Is the End of the World. He's that Goon he was in. There's just something about him, that's the quirkiness almost of that character that is exactly like him, just I think as a person, let alone anything else. I think it was a great fit, to be honest with you. I just think it's exactly that kind of guy that could pull off. Well, Wally was great, man. So don't get me wrong, but Brett's a pretty good fringe character, I think, in the movie too, to take a tackle on if I was to take a shot as a wild card. So that's who I went with.
He never gets to finish his big Kahuna burger either, man.
That's right. That's terrible.
That's right. I might have a bite of that.
Tragic Shakespearean figure right there, man.
Very cool.
Yeah, different but tough.
Ryan, who's your fringe character, so to speak?
I went with I thought about going with Quentin's character, and then I said no. That's kind of a novelty thing for Quentin to always be in his own movies, so I let him keep his role. I went with Jodie's character, that was originally played by Rosanna Arquette.
Yeah,
I picked Zendaya to play her. She's been in the series on HBO, Euphoria, so she's definitely around drugs quite a bit, and she's been in Dune and The Greatest Showman, and she plays Mary Jane in the Spider-Man films. I thought a young, fresh actress, I could play off the energy of Simon Pegg in those scenes. I thought would be kind of cool. She's the one with all the shit in her face. That's
totally
that's right. But that's what I went with. I thought it'd be different. Go with someone a little bit younger.
Yep,
that's a good pick.
Yeah, I picked
a good character too.
I picked the same character, believe it or not. I picked Jodie. Roseanne Arquette played the original role. I went with somebody older who could play opposite Ethan Hawke, who was my Lance, and I went with Winona Ryder.
Oh, yes.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Yeah, Winona Ryder could play that with the shit in her face, and waking up in the middle of the night, who knows that? Screaming and
That's awesome.
Busting Lance's chops from the other room, man.
And then she's looking down, and boy, that was trippy after the needle went in. But
That's
I
awesome.
can see Winona and Ethan. They were in a film together years ago, and I can't remember the name of it. One of these slacker kind of movies together.
It was Reality Bites.
That's it. Reality Bites. So that's where I dug them out of Reality Bites, paired them up here for Lance and then Jodie.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah, and then there's that girl on the couch that's smoking out of the little honey bear thing.
Brunel, what's her name? Brunel something. She's an Irish actor. She was in The Commitments and things like that. She's
sort of buried in the corner of that couch. Sometimes you don't even know she's there. And
I know.
Depends on the camera angle. Yeah.
That was the one Lance was trying to fix Travolta up with. Remember,
That's right.
you want to hang out and spend the night. Who's that? The one with all the shit in her face? That's my wife.
That's my wife. That's great. Nice.
That was fun.
Yeah,
I like it.
that was good. We've been.
I didn't, it took me a minute. I was reading over the cast. I did not realize that was Philip Lamar that played Marvin. Phil Lamar.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like,
It didn't even register in my head, you know? That's
I
how
thought
long it's been. It's been 30 years.
I thought somebody was going to pick Marvin.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would have been good too.
Yeah.
Blew Marvin's face off, man. Whatever. Yeah,
Or
that was-
Seinfeld coming out with the gun at the end, eh?
I thought maybe somebody's going to pick the cab driver or the girlfriend at the Bruce Willis's girl. At the,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
There
The one
was
who
some
wants-
fringe characters.
The one who wants a pot belly. I want the pot belly.
Yeah. Blueberry pancakes and all this shit.
Nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Really enjoyed that one. 11 characters.
Yeah, that was good.
11 characters, you know? Yeah, I liked it. I think it was great. I still think Peter Dinklage is going to be the best pick of the night.
No, yeah, that's gonna be a tough one to top, man.
That would be.
We'll see what kind of play it gets in the comments. And we encourage everybody out there that watches this video to give us your cast, man. Pick out 11 characters, pick out the 10 main characters and a wild card who you would cast. I like reading those and seeing, there's some obviously that are going to be better than what we even come up with.
Yeah.
Yep, write them down.
Right.
Write them down, put them down there. Pulp Fiction's a movie that, Christ, I would say 95% of the people have seen. It's hard to imagine going through the last 28 years and not watching the film. I think it got ripped off a little bit in Oscar time. Forrest Gump won Best Picture, but Pulp Fiction and Shawshank were right there with it. One of the great years.
That was one of the great years because the other two films nominated were Quiz Show and Four Weddings and a Funeral. And all 5 of those movies were great.
All 5.
All 5.
What a year.
I mean,
What a year.
I can't think of a year since that's been that packed with great
No.
movies.
No, it hasn't even been close.
Nope. Nothing. I mean, personally,
No, I don't think so.
I might take Shawshank a notch above Pulp, but it's damn close. They're right 1-2 for me, and Forrest Gump might be third.
Yeah.
That's just on my scale.
Right.
That'd be pretty close too, Rich.
It would be
Shawshank-
close.
Shawshank's an incredible flick, man.
If Turner Network would stop playing Shawshank, Shawshank would go back in the lead. I think maybe I'm right now. I'm just a little overkilled every time I go through a Turner Network thing. The Shawshank.
It's Shawshank.
Well, we're going to find out when we get to 1994 because we're going to be doing a series of yearly videos where we go from 1980 to 1999, where we're doing a music video and a movie video. So that'll be interesting to see when we finally get to 1994 how we have them stacked up, because we're going to be picking 10 films from that year, and we'll still be doing the perfect albums for the years, parallel kind of videos. One on Brian's channel, one on mine. So look for that in the future. We'll be starting that up, I guess, in the coming weeks. We don't have a tentative date yet, but it's coming at you. So look
Coming up
for
shortly.
that. Can't wait to do that. Thanks again, guys, for this. This was awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Brian, Doc, check these guys out. And leave us the comments. Give us a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and so forth. Links will be below. So for Brian and Doc, this is Rich, and we will see you next time. Thanks.